Tonight, on the Nation Sports Show, we continue our coverage of this year's NBA playoffs. The greatest two words in sports, Game 7. Tonight, we give our analysis on the latest chapter in the rivalry between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum for the Celtics made NBA playoff history, as Tatum is now the all-time point-scoring leader in Game 7's play. Jimmy Butler and Miami continue to be red-hot in these playoffs as they beat the New York Knicks in 6 games. The Celtics and the Heat once again will face each other in the Eastern Conference Finals. On the Western Conference side of the playoff bracket, the Golden State Warriors are no longer champions of basketball. In 6 games, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the LA Lakers knocked the Warriors off the top of the NBA mountain. In the series between Denver and Phoenix for a second consecutive year, just like last year in Game 7 on their home floor against the Dallas Mavericks. This year, against the top-seeded Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic and Denver absolutely ran Phoenix off of their home floor, beating them just like Dallas did by 25 points. 2 epic playoff collapses back-to-back years, and because of that, Monty Williams has been shown the door as Phoenix has fired him. Who will be the Suns' next head coach? The Final Four is now set. Heat, Celtics, Nuggets, Lakers. Who will be advancing to the NBA Finals? Also in the NBA, Memphis Grizzlies star player John Morant has been suspended by the team for a second time, waving a gun on Instagram Live. Is Morant's days with the team numbered? Last week also, the NFL releases 2023 regular season schedule. It is that time once again, sports fans. Showtime.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
What's up, everybody? Woo! We are live and in living color. You wanted the best. Well, they're not available, so you get us instead. It is our Nation Sports Show. We are live. We are rocking and rolling. Woo! We got a long show. We got a great show ahead of us with a lot to talk about. It's been a crazy week in the wonderful world of sports, let me tell you. But we're about to have a little bit of fun here. We're about to get into some great conversations. Of course, let's get to the matter at hand first and the ways you can follow us and interact with us. You can interact with us at ON_sports show on Twitter, Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show, and Instagram.com/Our Nation Sports Show. You can also find us here on the YouTube where we are live right now. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Please do, as it helps our subscriber numbers and gets us going on that front. And we love to hear you guys' comments in the chat. We love for you to interact with us. So if you have any opinions on anything we're talking about, get in touch with us and we'll read them on the air. Also, don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner at all their socials. Their show, of course, is the sister show to this one, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on youtube.com/the Nation's Corner. This week they have a very cool guest that's going to be on the show. Pretty awesome person. I can't wait for them to talk to him. Talk to her. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Of course, endorsed by none other than one of our very own Nation's Corner guests, Miss Kayla Sparks. So when Kayla Sparks says she's good, she's good. So excited for that. Also, at Too Sweet Cosplay across all socials, our next event is this Sunday, Anime Central. We'll be there hosting our annual Too Sweet Cosplay Day photo shoot from 12 to 1 p.m. Check us out there. If you're in the Rosemont area, if you're in the Chicago area, check us out. We're going to be at the Hyatt Regency Chicago O'Hare from 12 to 1. Of course, I'll be out there all day just hanging out, talking, and checking out things at Anime Central. But if you want to come to the photo shoot, 12 to 1 p.m., we're going to have a fun time. And, of course, talk a little shop and some wrestling. So I'm excited for that. But I'm excited about this show. We got a lot to get to. Let's introduce the crew. And with us today, we got the leader of the Niner Gang, the leader of the Warrior Nation, in my opinion. We had a rough go this past week, but man, it's all about bouncing back and getting better. And I know that's what the Golden State Warriors will do. And we will get into that discussion a little bit here in just a few minutes. And that is my boy K-Rod. Kevin Rory, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to be back on the show again this week. Rough weekend in the NBA, but anyway, we'll bounce back and hope everybody's doing good and ready to talk some sports. Let's go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, we can't do this without the matriarch of this show. He's usually from North Carolina, but he's getting close and he's on his way to Daytona Beach, Florida, Daytona National Speedway, because this weekend is Welcome to Rockville, one of the greatest rock and roll festivals out. It's an amazing, amazing festival. This man was there last year, had an awesome time, and he's gonna once again rock out with his out, if you know what I'm saying, brother.
Heyo.
And he is here. It's the one and only Stephen Wyatt. What's up, man?
What is going on? I am so excited to be doing the show on a different location here. I'm here in Savannah, Georgia, doing the show live from not the SmackDown Hotel, if you know what I'm saying. But so glad to be on the show.
You look like you're doing it from inside Joey's closet.
But yeah, we are here on the show ready to talk about the world of sports, including the NBA playoffs and the latest firings in the NBA and the NFL schedule and all that good stuff. And with that being said, let's go.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Remember I forget what I said about being in one of Steven's closets. With that, you look like you're in the witness protection program. But yes, we all know who you are. I mean, you are playing Riot Fest in September.
One of these things is not like the other.
We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into a whole freaking Foo Fighters freaking song title game right now. We got too much to talk.
No, because we'll be here all night long for 2.5 hours.
Oh my god! Just good night, everybody. No, okay. Now let's get going. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get straight into the NBA playoffs. Of course, it's a rough one, especially if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan and a Phoenix fan, especially when your one team has the reigning MVP and the other role players don't do shit, and then you have the other team that gets completely blown off their own gym floor and sent back home. It's sent home to their families. It's insanity. But let's get into it. Kevin, I want to start with you first because I know Golden State had a rough outing against the Lakers the other night. It was a rough go. They tried, but the first quarter and a half, 2 quarters, they could not buy a bucket. But once they got going, though, they tried to keep it close, but Miami was just on another level. LeBron James was almost possessed that night. He was driving into the paint, getting layups, getting and ones. He was out there just absolutely doing his thing. And Anthony Davis we make fun of him for being made of glass and being so fragile and injury prone. The guy was damn good that night, man. He was real good, had a good solid game. All players came out and did a really good job. So shout out to the Lakers for coming through and really, really hammering the point home that they're not going anywhere just yet. But Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on Golden State. Of course, your thoughts, your analysis on it, and your thoughts just mainly on that. What are your thoughts on it?
Golden State just simply couldn't make a bucket. They couldn't make a bucket to save their life. They shot horrible. Klay Thompson had one of his worst series that he's ever had in his whole entire career. And don't get me started on that brother Jordan Poole. He gets paid $140 million to come out there and put up 0 points in Game 5, 6 points in Game 6. Like, where are you at? You are supposed to help Steph Curry. And there's one thing, I don't care what nobody says, you can't pin that on Steph Curry. Steph Curry showed up. He had a triple-double in Game 4, equaled a loss. Come out in Game 5 and had 29, 30, and won. Game 6 still had like 27, and he couldn't get no kind of help, man. And it's sad to say, but it is what it is. But I will say this. That is the main reason they lost. I can agree to that. But LeBron James and the Lakers, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The amount of fouls in this series is absolutely suspicious because in the games that the Lakers have won, Game 1, 3, 4, and 6, the Lakers shot over 35 free throws in that game, which means there are so many tic-tac fouls being called that's absolutely ridiculous. And in the games that they lost or the game where the playing field was even, they shot no more than 10 free throws. So where is all these fouls getting called from is what I want to know, because the game didn't change. They didn't just start throwing up shots and bull crap. They played their game. So why is in some games they get 40 free throw attempts and in the games they lose, they get 10 free throw attempts? I'm just saying it isn't adding up to me. And let's just keep it real too. All you LeBron James fans out there, if there's any, just keep it real. He's not bringing that team along like he did the Miami Heat or the Cleveland Cavaliers. Anthony Davis and the role players are bringing that Lakers team along. LeBron looks clearly unhealthy. He looks like he's got a foot injury. He looks like he's 38 years old. He looks like Father's Time has finally started slowing him down. So all you LeBron fans out there who saying, "Oh, LeBron's this and that," just like be happy that you're where you're at because of Anthony Davis, because you're clearly not there because of LeBron James. You're there because Anthony Davis is staying healthy for some miraculous time, and he's putting up dominant numbers. So they go as Anthony Davis goes. If he's scoring 30 and 20, they're winning. If he's scoring 10 points, they're losing. It's that simple. Austin Reeves and company, they're showing up. So I don't know how far they'll make it in the next series, but my hat's off. Not really to LeBron. Fuck him. My hats really go off to Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham, because after the trade deadline, I will admit Rob Pelinka actually got the right system players around Anthony Davis, and they were actually to make something happen. So my hats go off to Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham. Now for Golden State, man, I don't understand. I mean, I understand contract situations, but I don't understand where this, the dynasty's done. That's how the dynasty's automatically done. Where is that coming from? Because we obviously know Golden State has went through so much this year, outside of basketball, starting with the Draymond Green punch, who, by the way, I don't condone violence, but now the skies are clearing up and we are starting to see the reason of Draymond Green's actions, which I'm not saying are acceptable, but come to find out Jordan Poole doing what Jordan Poole has done in the playoffs, and it's about me. Fuck the team. It's me. I'm the guy. I just got paid $100 million. I'm a superstar. I'm this big-headed, arrogant, and Draymond, being the emotional leader and the captain, punches him in his damn face and says, "Sit the fuck down and listen to the coach." Quit disrespecting a 9-time champion and Steve Kerr because you rode Steph Curry to a title last year. And that's what Draymond said. And now it is finally starting to come out, and I understand it. Not saying I condone it, but I understand it. And Draymond, I can't even point him at fault no more. But the fact of the matter is, outside of that, you had the hiatus by Wiggins with his father, hoping that he's doing better now. And then Gary Payton, who got reacquired back by the team, didn't play till March, been unhealthy the whole year. Steph suffering 2 to 3 injuries all year. Clay trying to find his rhythm. It was just a yucky season, one that you can just scrap. But that does not mean this dynasty is over, because the key here is that Bob Myers will re-sign with Golden State this offseason. That's the $1 million man. Him and Peter Guber and Joe Lacob are the guys who spend that money to keep that team organized. If he comes back, they can just add and subtract pieces, do what they got to do, and they're right back in this thing. I don't care what nobody says. I'll tell you an interesting statistic on this front too real quick. Everybody thinks you're supposed to win every year, win every year. Well, guess what? Greg Popovich's San Antonio Spurs dynasty, they have never repeated in their own dynasty years. Never went back to back. So the fact that people are, well, this team's done because they lost this shit, that don't mean nothing. So you mean to tell me the Spurs were done back in 2011 when they got swept by the Grizzlies, or 2012 when they got swept by the Grizzlies? 11. Were they done then? Because if I don't recall, they went out in the draft and got a young Kawhi Leonard the next year and absolutely swept the Heat 2 years from then in 2014 in their last year. So the fact that people are saying this team is done, I would say that if they let Draymond Green go. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how you feel about him. You can like his antics, hate him, hate his cockiness, hate his mouth, hate his shit talking. I don't care. The fact of the matter is that team is not good without Draymond Green. The same way as that team is not good without Stephen Curry. They go together. Either one of them goes, then yes, you can say bye to that dynasty. But Draymond talks like he wants to stay. Steph is going to stay his whole career. Steve Kerr talks like he's going to stay. So where is all this talk about, the dynasty's over? Where? What facts are people going off of? Because only thing I say is I would trade Jordan Poole. I would absolutely trade him, because right now he is a cancer to that locker room. He is toxic. He is selfish, and he's not about the team. If you can, trade for someone else. Like, trade for another shooter. Trade for some size. If they had some size, they probably would have beat the Lakers. If they had someone who can neutralize AD, they win, whether they're knocking shots down or not. It's just that simple. So I'm just excited for the offseason, because I know the magic that Bob Myers and Joe Lacob can do. So I'm just waiting on that to see what he does in free agency.
Steven?
That is a lot of great points there, Kev, you just made, because the Golden State Warriors, I absolutely agree with you, because Draymond Green, whether we like his antics or not, and I will be honest, I really don't care for his antics and stuff, but in this situation, Jordan Poole is the main problem, because Jordan Poole's antics caused this team to be in a disarray and caused them to be up and down during the 22-23 regular season. And when you look at the situation that Golden State was in, they were in such a turmoil, and they had to rebound, and they did make some adjustments during the season when Clay and Steph and Draymond and all of them came together, and Wiggins came together, and they were playing as a unit, and Poole was there. It seemed like everything was together, but in actuality, everything was further from together, because Jordan Poole has always been the lingering problem within this team. And by having the issues that he's having, on the court, thinking that he is the reason, basically, like you said, Kev, he is saying the reason that, I am the reason why this team rose above the occasions last year. No, as we all know, Stephen Curry is the main reason why this Golden State Warriors team won their 4th championship in 8 seasons last year. And he
Not
won his
to
first
mention the
MVP.
help from Andrew Wiggins, too. Andrew Wiggins was
That's right.
second guy that helped him. And you can't forget, that plays also a big part, because as an NBA player, it don't matter how you work out. If you miss 3 months of basketball because of a family issue, which is completely understandable and respected, but if you miss that much time, you're not going to be who you were last year when they won the finals. It's just no way. We saw glimpses, but we didn't see it for a series straight because he's still trying to get his legs under him. So, I mean, it's just a lot to unpack for this season. I say scrap it up. Let's take another crack at it next year. Steve Kerr said the same thing. Just take a crack at it.
And listen, and not every team is going to win every year, like you said, bro. Because like when you look at every dynasty team that has had their ups and downs, like the Spurs, the Celtics, the Lakers, they've all went through their issues and they rebounded. And the Golden State Warriors are more than capable at rebounding next year because they had the three key ingredients on this team: Clay, Steph, and Draymond. They are the engines that make this team go, along with their great head coach and Steve Kerr.
And when you got Steph Curry at the age of 35 playing like he's 25 again and dropping 50 burgers on anybody at any given time, you already know you already got a top 3 player in the NBA. So, I mean, still, he's not slowing down. And it's just, I like their chances of rebounding a lot better than what some of these quote unquote experts say, because yeah, as long as you got Steph Curry and you got Draymond as the heart of this team, they're going to be right back. Bob Myers is going to make adjustments. He's going to make the right moves in free agency. Hopefully free up that $140 million that Jordan Poole legally robbed us out of, just took the Brinks truck and stole all the money from us. So hopefully we can drop that off and get a legit center to help out Kevon Looney down low and another guard who can shoot and who's dependable to come in when Steph is on the bench and can score, because that's a big thing in this playoffs too. I don't want to harp on it too long, but Steph Curry, when he was on the court, the plus minus is insane. They were like plus 36 against everybody. The Lakers, the Kings. When he goes off the court, they were like minus 51 because there was no legit scorer who can score while he's off the court resting, which is absolutely sad. That's why I said you need to go get you someone like Buddy Hield, who was top 5 in three-point shooting the last 3 years, who can play as a 6-man role, come off that bench and give you 20, 25 points a night to hold it down while Steph can rest. Because Steph still needs a rest. He's 35 years old. He's not getting younger. Got to have that scoring off the bench. And Jordan Poole has proved he's not it.
Oh, yeah. Jordan Poole just, he needs to go. He's not doing anybody any favors by sticking around, basically stealing money from the crew. Basically just not producing, and that's exactly what happened. He did not produce during these playoffs, and especially during this last game where it was so critical. Yeah, but I do agree with that. Draymond definitely could be a catalyst on the chopping block as well because of his previous performances. But but hey, yeah, it's definitely not Steph's fault. Clay couldn't get shots down. Steph tried. It was just a bad night for shooting in that game, period. The first quarter was unfortunately abysmal. It was abysmal. That first quarter made me almost angry because not only was it the fact that they weren't able to get shots up, but they were trying to go match for match with LeBron and Anthony Davis and company when it came to started the game off hot. They were just haphazardly putting up shots and not setting up where they usually do. It seemed like they were just trying to get this shot. I saw a bunch of 3-pointers that made no sense. They didn't have no setup. They didn't have no play. I'm like, why are you shooting like this? Why are you trying to go? You're trying to shoot within the first 4 seconds you're over the line. Take a little bit of time, set up your shots, get screens, do what you can to make it the best available shot for you. They tried. Like I said, they tried it. They missed. They couldn't buy buckets at all. But it's unfortunately nature of the beast. And they gave it their best, but it was just not their time. I mean, they got a championship last year. They did great. Tried to repeat, just didn't work out.
And not just that, but that. Oh, go ahead.
Also, real quick though, for years we have said what Golden State's weakness is, and the Lakers, I will give them on that front. And no, I'm not talking about that idiot LeBron James. Fuck him again. Anyway, the Lakers in general, Darvin Ham, I got to respect them because the Lakers play with great length. And that length, I mean, yeah, Golden State had open shots and couldn't knock them down, but that length really affected the Warriors from trying to go to the paint, because any other series like Sacramento, for example, game 3, their shots weren't falling. So what they do, they attacked the paint because they didn't have a rim protector. Anthony Davis has been a good rim protector and swatting everything, and it caused the Warriors to second guess going into the paint trying to get buckets. So then they were just forced to jack up more shots that weren't falling. And it was just a whole bizarre mess. So Golden State just needs to get bigger down there, get some size to kind of hold off on other team size. That's
another thing I've noticed, that is that Golden State is a relatively small team when it comes to
very small
when it comes to that. When you're dealing with guys like even LeBron, like I said, LeBron, who's 6 foot, 6'7", 6'8",
6'8", yeah.
Yeah, you're dealing in Anthony Davis, who's 7 feet. You're dealing with a lot of big guys on that team. And you're such a small guy. It's gonna be harder to get shots off. It's gonna be harder to defend. It's just, and they need to get some size on there. They need to get a good center down there. They need to get a rangy, tall, maybe rangy, tall shooter. They need to get somebody who can help out with size on that. If they get that, like I said, Jordan Poole's got to go. Maybe Draymond Green's got to go. Switch it around. Get a few other key components. Maybe Golden State could be once again the massive threat that they've always been. But like I said, whether it's the shots, whether it's the size, it's just unfortunately the way it is. The Lakers move on. They have a little bit of a tough test ahead of them, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But I want to get to one of the other big blowout games, and that was the Phoenix Suns ran out the fucking gym against the Denver Nuggets.
That was an absolute ass beating by Denver on Phoenix. I mean, no chance was set the Suns in this game. I mean, Devin Booker for a second straight year, and Chris Paul, even though he was out for 2 consecutive games, the Suns were absolutely humiliated on their home floor. And you would have figured that they would have learned from their mistakes, last year against Luka and Dallas in Game 7 on their home floor. No, Monty Williams and Phoenix absolutely got ran out of the gym on their home floor in Game 6. It was no contest. It was over by halftime. They were down by 30 at half. I'm like, just turn the game off. It's over. And just completely destruction.
Dude, it was so bad to the point where not even a day later, Monty Williams lost his job.
And I know where Kevin's going with this. Go for it, bro.
Let me just say this really quick.
Go ahead,
really
dude, take the reins on this. I'm waiting for it.
I might turn into the Hulk right now because it's really grinding my gears. It's Monty Williams, all due respect to you, brother. You're a hell of a coach. You don't deserve this shit. But I tell you what, the GM deserves this shit, and so does Chris Paul deserves this shit. Every fucking year since 2013, every time the games get close and the series is tight and you need a win, Chris Paul hamstring goes out. Oh, Chris Paul's growing hurt. Oh, his leg is sore. His tampon fell out. What's next? It's always something with this dude. And then not just him, but the GM.
Hey, Mickey, there's always something with this guy.
I know. Here's my thing. The GM, I don't know who this jabroni is, but let me just say this. You traded your whole bench. That's one thing that fucked you up. You have no bench. You put all the pressure on a 36-year-old Kevin Durant who's old as dirt with fragile knees and a bald head in the middle of his head with no hair growing. You put the pressure on him and Devin Booker because you decide to keep DeAndre Ayton. And this jabroni is 7 feet worth of crap. He's soft as baby poop. He was sitting there getting bitched in the paint the entire series by guards, not just Jokic, by Jamal Murray. He was getting punked. Monty Williams, you don't deserve this, bro. Devin Booker, you don't deserve this. But Kevin Durant, where the fuck is your shot went? You were like 10 of 40. Oh, good God. I thought you were shooting from the parking lot as much miss as you were hitting. You weren't hitting nothing. Absolutely nothing. Devin Booker was hitting. It was shooting 87%. But you, Durant, apparently your shot went broke when you traveled from Brooklyn to Phoenix, and somewhere on the plane it got lost in luggage, And come on now. Oh my God. Horrible.
dude. I mean, this. I know, and it's all ties. Look, Monty Williams didn't deserve it. Just like the coach for Milwaukee didn't deserve to get fired after winning a championship for them last year.
I mean, Kev, you are absolutely spot on with this take, dude. Like the fact that Kevin Durant goes to Phoenix in February, and everybody and their mother was going, "Oh, Phoenix is the team to beat now in the Western Conference." Where are they at now? Home, sweet home.
By the way, you just did that. You sounded like a Muppets character. Just wanted to point that out there. But no, I agree, dude. I agree, man. Look, Chris Paul is what, 38 years old. He's had a lot of injuries. To me, I think this is his last rodeo. Personally, I don't see him continuing on with another team unless somebody does want him or Phoenix makes the dumb decision to keep him. But also, don't forget, there's also a big rumor going around that DeAndre Ayton may be traded out this offseason as well. We might see the end of DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix too. So there'll be a little bit of an overhaul on the offensive side of the ball coming up from what is being rumored anyways. So, but like I said, Paul just needs to walk away. Not because he's not a great player, because he is. He's a good player. He's had some great moments and great seasons. But you got to think, age for a basketball player, but if you're in the upper 30s to early 40s, usually that's a sign that you need to step away. It's not like other sports where players can continue until later on in their career, but it's just because of the physical contact, the wear on the knees, other joints in the body. Chris Paul's been playing for a long time, and I think unfortunately he's going to have to face the reality. He's going to have to retire without the thing he's missing, and that's the elusive championship ring.
He just every year. I just don't think it's meant for him to have a ring. It's that simple.
I don't think so either. And then, since we're talking about games, we're talking about big games. Let's talk about that epic Game 7 between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. And by epic, I mean that fucking James Harden couldn't shoot worth the shit, and poor Joel Embiid had one of his worst games this season, and his worst games is being named the MVP. And not only that, this game caused the firing of the one, the only Mr. Doc Rivers.
About damn time he gets fired.
I know Kevin has a few points on that, but give me 1 second before Kevin goes on about Mr. Rivers and his the fact he'll be rowing down a river because he's no longer with the team. We'll have to go to another. But it's been long overdue. Look, Doc Rivers, he's tried, with the Clippers. He's tried with other teams to make them as big as they are and try to help them out. And he had some varying degrees of success. He's
honestly fortunate to have that one championship ring that he won with the Celtics in 2008.
Absolutely. He's been integral on a lot of great teams.
10 Game 7s and he's lost.
Yeah,
as a head coach.
Not a
and
good
he's
record.
blown so many 3-1, 3-2 leads, and he hasn't won another championship as a head coach. And honestly, the downward spiral started in Game 7, and Kevin remembers this one as well as I do. The 2010 NBA Finals against Kobe Bean Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers, up 13 points in the second half, and you blow that lead and the championship.
Yep. Let me just say this though, while we're on this subject. Shout out to Jason Tatum, man. That brother came to ball in Game 7. It's 51 points, just broke Steph Curry's brand new 50-point record in Game 7 that lasted a totality of 2 weeks. But yeah, shout out to Tatum, man. Them boys came to play, and shout out to the Celtics organization. Great team. They're set up to go back, hopefully, possibly to the finals. If not, what a run. Still good run. Bunch of interim coaches. I mean, after Udoka and then now the other guy comes in, he done a good job. So shout out to them. But this is more about how fucked up Philly is right now. Listen, Doc Rivers, you're right, Steven. It did start in 2010, but there were signs. 2009 against the Orlando Magic, he blew a 3-1 lead against Dwight Howard and company, who's in Taiwan, been living his best life right now. But then we see 2012 blew a 3-2 lead to LeBron James. 2014 blew a 3-1 lead with the Clippers. Lob City, they were supposed to be the next franchise, the next dynasty. He blows that. Game 7, lost. Game 7, 2021 with Ben Simmons, the great, lost. I just Doc Rivers is trust the process of elimination, because that's exactly what this team ended up doing. And for the 8th straight season, the MVP of the NBA fails to reach the conference finals. The last MVP to do that or to get to the finals was Steph Curry in 2016. Every MVP after has failed to reach a conference finals appearance, and in the same season. Embiid, where were you at? Just like we talk about Chris Paul, I don't want to hate on him. The brother had a great year, but he went from averaging 35 a game to 22 a game in the playoffs. What is that? Like, the guy always had, and no knock on him. Let me just say, I don't want to criticize someone for getting injured, but he always has the injuries at the worst possible time. Come game 3 or 4 in the semifinals, he's always getting banged up somewhere. And I mean, it's time to move on. And I'm not sure if I was watching James Harden or Mr. T act like James Harden, because he couldn't shoot worth a lick. I think he needs to cut his beard off to hide his identification, because the brother has a missing in action poster posted all over Philadelphia, because no one's seen James Harden. And the loss itself wasn't on Doc Rivers individually, but the totality and the resume builds up for itself. He has been proven to do this. And the way that the league is holding its coaches now and the standards, like JJ Redick said, it is a results-driven league. If you're not seeing results, your coach is fucking gone. Like we said, wow, I can't believe Coach Budenholzer got fired out of Milwaukee. That's a championship coach. Got fired. Why? Because they didn't see results. Monty Williams has led the league in wins the last 3 or 4 years, like literally a top-notch coach. Gone because of the team's results. It's a results-driven league, and Doc Rivers, on that perspective, should be fired. I don't care how anyone feels about him. If you're going to fire Monty Williams and Budenholzer, you need to fire Rivers, because he hasn't got out of the conference semifinals since 2012, for crying out loud. So hold him to the same standard.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, as of tonight, it officially starts. I believe these are the conference finals, and tonight officially starts Game 1. It's time to get a little predictions. We haven't done a little predictions in a while, so let's get it cracking here, folks. Game 1 tonight. The Lakers take on the Nuggets. Game 1. It's going to be in Denver, Mile High. So, and that game is at 8:30 Eastern.
And also, don't forget, also tonight, it is the NBA draft lottery selection.
Oh, yes, it is. That's right. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And basically, it's a big draft lottery too, Ezra, because whoever gets the 1 pick is going after the sensation 7'2" point guard, Victor Wembanyama. That's supposed to be like Giannis Antetokounmpo 2.0. And so this is a big lottery. This is going to tell all.
Yeah, it's very much like the NHL lottery with the when the Blackhawks won the number 1 pick, and they are going after that Connor Bedard guy, who's considered by many as the next Alex Ovechkin, the next Patrice Bergeron, the next Patrick Kane. You know, so it's very similar to that, where there's a generational talent that's up for grabs. So whoever gets that number 1 pick will have the chance to get a guy that could help, who could severely help boost the team's abilities going forward in playoff contention, as long as they have the right pieces around him. So I do agree with you. It's going to be big in that. And the NBA draft will start. The draft lottery officially goes on in about 18 minutes on
Yep.
ESPN. So definitely definitely will be checking that out of the corner of my eye. And if it goes down before the show is over, we will report about it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver on this game. Obviously, I think Denver's just while the Lakers have been playing some good ball, Denver has just been on another level. That team has been fucking insane. They are just playing out of their minds. They're determined. After coming so close last year, they are hungrier than ever, in my opinion. And I think they're going to prove it in this series. How many games this series goes, I don't know. I'm going to give the Lakers a chance. I'm going to go 6 games.
You know what? My basketball knowledge tells me I'm going Denver in 6 games, but my gut is telling me we know, like I did with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. My gut's telling me the league wants LeBron James in the finals for all kind of storyline purposes, and they're going to do it at the Nuggets discretion. I think that I'm going to say for my official prediction, Lakers in 7, because that's what the league wants. They want to see LeBron James, Lakers, Celtics, Lakers bubble rematch with the Heat. They just want LeBron James back in it. So I'm going to go Lakers in 7, but my basketball IQ is telling me Denver in 6 because Jokic, AD's playing his ass off, but Jokic is a 2-time MVP for a reason. And that brother's finally got some help this year in the form of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and even Contavious Caldwell-Pope, former Laker, and Bruce Brown from the former Nets, 20-point per game scorer. So the Nuggets got a team now. They are one of the best teams in the league, no doubt.
So what you're saying is Adam Silver is Vince McMahon, and he's booking LeBron James, Roman Reigns, circa 2016.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. With all these foul calls, I'm gonna say that. Yes, LeBron James is Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns 2016 when he was getting shoved down our throats.
Shoved straight down everybody's asshole.
Yeah. I have a joke for that. I'll say that for another time. Steven, go ahead and give us your pick and analysis for game 1 between the Lakers and the Nuggets.
So I'm going to go with Denver tonight, but like Kevin said, my basketball IQ is thinking that Denver's going to win this in 6, but I think the NBA wants the Lakers to win this in 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like I said, I picked the Nuggets in 7 just based on the performances. But if the Lakers win in 7, I would not be shocked. Just like you said, the narrative of LeBron getting back to another title before maybe the end of his career comes. But if it doesn't come down that way and everything pans out the way we want it to be, it's going to be interesting. But tomorrow is another conference semi, and that is the Heat and the Celtics. Or another conference final, Heat and the Celtics. Now, that's a tough one to call because Jason Tatum has been absolutely fucking monstrous. But Jimmy Butler's been playing out of his mind as well. It's a battle between 2 great shooters and two great overall teams. I'm excited for this matchup as a guy whose team is in the Eastern Conference there. I'm excited for this matchup because it's going to be two shooters are going to be out looking for blood. So I'm excited for it.
Nope.
I don't know who I'd pick in this one. That was a tough one, man.
Miami is playing some really good ball.
Yes, they are.
Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum's going to be a get your popcorn ready moment because them two are playing really good. But I also want to mention that, these conference finals are classics because they are actually some of the most conference finals matchups in NBA history, going all the way back to the Kobe and Carmelo days, to LeBron and the Celtic days with Miami, to even the bubble. It was Miami and Boston in the bubble that Miami pulled out of. And then last year, Miami and Boston, again, that Boston pulled out of. So this is a very well-known conference finals matchup. But you know what? If Tatum is playing on the level of Game 7 Tatum, this Celtics team is on another level. Like but that's if they're playing down and Tatum's not playing good, the Heat can get a couple games and possibly push it. I'm gonna go Celtics, and you know what? I'm gonna go same result as last year. Give me Celtics in 7 to set up a Lakers Celtics matchup.
Okay.
For the league. Great storylines. Oh my goodness. Battle for the most rings. LeBron James. Yep.
I'm going to go with the Celtics in 6.
Okay. Any reasoning?
I just think that Boston is going to eventually wake up and get on the road, and they're going to get on track on the road, and Tatum's going to have a monster road game.
Yeah, both teams are gonna really, really show it out. LeBron and or not LeBron, but Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler are gonna find out which one of them is the killer. Dillinger Escape Plan reference.
Good one.
Yes, I had to pull that one out. But no, this is gonna be a classic. This is gonna be a classic, and when it comes to conference final games, I think it's gonna be one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. I'm going to go with the Celtics in 7. I should have said Celtics in 7. It's going to be a hard-fought series. It's going to be back and forth, but Jason Tatum and Boston, I think, are going to pull it out in the last game. They're going to set themselves up for another NBA Finals appearance. And it's just going to be a hell of a run. Hopefully the Lakers get their asses whooped by Denver, and I wish it would just be a freaking 4-game blowout, but whatever. You know what? Life isn't fair, and neither is the NBA. So, we'll just go with that. But yeah, we talked earlier about the firings of course, Monty Williams and the Boston Celtics coach, or not Boston Celtics, 76ers coach. We talked about that. Really, as far as any other news, really, because here we go. Here's some news for us, and that is that Desmond Bane has surgery on a broken bone in his right big toe. That's about it. That's about as dry cut as you can get on ESPN today.
Another news article is John Morant was suspended by Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, John Morant once again, the dumb shit, posting himself once again holding a gun on Instagram Live. An absolute fucking idiot from here to next week. What are you gonna do about that? Oh, I know what you do. Suspend him from all team activities, and maybe even later, suspend his ass from the fucking league for a whole year.
You know what? I honestly think this should be what's coming. I think the league should crack down and suspend him 82 games next year because, this is a league where their agenda is anti-gun violence, and he's out there listening to NBA YoungBoy, getting influenced by music, standing in the car, taking his shirt off, throwing guns in the air. Like, come on, dude, you can't do that. And Kwame Brown said it best. I don't know if you ever watched some of his takes, but he is one funny ass dude. He was a horrible NBA player, but he's a funny ass dude. He looked at John Morant and said, "You listen to NBA YoungBoy, but they should call you NBA Dumb Boy because you're costing yourself out of $150 million being a freaking goof. Straighten the fuck up and play basketball. Quit worrying about guns and this and that. That ain't your profession. They don't want to see you doing that. They want to see you with a ball in your hand. They don't want to see you with a gun in your hand. Get off of the internet. Get off of Instagram. Get your ass on the court and play. You want your money, you earn it. And then someone else chimed in, and they got who was hit it on the head basically. JJ Reddy. He said, "Listen, if you can't change your friends around you, then you change your friends around you." Let that sink in for a minute and think about it, because that's what he's saying. You're acting down to your friends. You are better than that. You are an NBA player. You're a superstar. You're a face of a franchise. You deal with Nike, and you're playing down to your friends and like your hood. Come on, dude, stay away from it. If Nike can drop Kyrie Irving so quick over his stance on certain things, I guarantee you Nike will be the next to drop John Morant from his $20 million Nike deal over that, because that's the second strike. You know what they say, 3 strikes and you're out. Second strike, I think, should be for 82 games. But after that, I think they should just get him out of the league. I hate it for him, but you can play stupid games and win stupid prizes. That's what they say.
Yep. Steven?
I agree 110% with that, Kev, because like when you look at the situation that Morant put himself in, just dumb decisions by a dumb, great athlete, and Morant is 22, 23 years old and doing what he did. I mean, he has his entire professional career of basketball to be a great player in the professional realm of the NBA. And he just keeps making dumb moves and dumb decisions that could impact the rest of his professional career.
Dude, look, there's one thing this guy has. He's got talent. He's got shooting ability. He's got
absolutely. He's got
the one
talent.
thing he doesn't have. Two things: good friends and maturity.
And a bottle of pills.
He is immature for freaking yeah. He definitely don't have that either. But he is immature. Why are you going on Instagram Live with a gun in your hand? Why are you waving it around? This is the second time you've done this. You can't learn from your mistakes. Not only is this going to cost you money, but it's going to cost you your entire NBA career. You keep up with this shit. Come on, you're a talent who has all the world ahead of you. He has something that any player would kill to have, and that is God-given basketball abilities. The guy's big. He can shoot. He can defend. He's a mix of everything. Any player of his size, any player of his caliber would kill to have those abilities. But freaking John Morant is washing it all away with a freaking Glock in his hand. Like, why are you doing that? Just please stop. Focus on basketball. Don't focus on the stupidity of your friends. Just move forward. That's all. Before we move on, though, I want to give a special shout out in our chat to our buddy Mongrovian Mike from the Nation's Corner, which you can catch at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on Saturdays on youtube.com/the Nation's Corner. Shout out to the king of Monrovia, the master of Monrovia Karate. And one thing, rest in peace, Ronnie James Dio, 13 years later. Also, and then real quick, also, on the ESPN app, according to the NBA section here, a little note from according to Steve Kerr in a report or in an interview, he said that the Warriors never rebuild trust after the whole Green Jordan Poole situation. That's what Steve Kerr said in the interview.
Makes sense. I mean, that just tells you somebody's got to go. They're not going to. Draymond helped them get 4 championships. Jordan Poole, not so much. So I think there's your answer.
Yeah,
they're going to trade Jordan Poole.
And that's funny you just said that, because another line in this interview from Steve Kerr says, if Draymond is not back, we're not a championship contender.
There you go.
Agree.
That's the truth, and that's basically they're telling you who they're choosing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Quickly, before we get into the NFL schedule talk, a couple things on other sports real quick. First off, Rangers prospect Kumar Rocker will be having Tommy John surgery, which will shut him down for the remainder of the season.
Ooh.
So that's an unfortunate injury there. Real quick, also want to give a big congratulations to the man himself, Mr. Pat McAfee, because not only does he have a beautiful baby boy, but now it is official. The Pat McAfee Show will be joining ESPN.
Hey, hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
The deal, I thought I saw the specifics on the Pat McAfee Show deal on social media, but I know it's a multi-year deal. So on ESPN, you'll be seeing that tank top wearing son of a bitch named Pat McAfee doing his thing with his friends. And it's going to be an awesome, awesome show. It's always an awesome time on the Pat McAfee Show.
I've always loved Pat's work. I mean, Pat McAfee is just a hoot when he is on television. I mean, just the way he's so energetic and stuff. And he's just like, let's go. He is ready to go, do a show. He's turned up to 11, and just.
Here it is. Here it is, man. He says the program will retain full creative control, not change its format, follow Get Up and First Take, so we will have them in the morning. So look at that. Look at that fucking 3P. You have Get Up, First Take, and the Pat McAfee Show. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
All I gotta say is you better have those censor buttons ready to go.
No, well, here's one of the other things. Not say fuck nearly as much.
Right.
Yeah, he received 4 major offers. It says that he received 4 major offers. This fall will officially be the launch of the Pat McAfee Show on ESPN, ESPN Plus. It is I think 4. He walked away from $120 million deal with FanDuel to make $10 million per year at ESPN.
Okay.
He also makes a great tag team partner for George Kittle too.
Yes.
Just saying.
Agree.
Him and George Kittle is one hell of a tag team.
And we cannot wait for Pat McAfee to return to SmackDown as a commentator or back in the ring as a performer.
He's gonna call out George Kittle.
Because both he fucking excels at, man. Pat McAfee, truly one of the best athletes out there, and congratulations to him. Awesome news that show that he built with his friends in his studio years ago is finally on freaking the biggest sports network in the entire world.
He deserves it too. Like all the hard work that he's put into it, doing what he's doing and just busting his ass every single day. I mean, hats off to you, bro, because like just the hard work has paid off, and now he's going to be on a national global audience being televised, and man, all I got to say is come NFL season, it's going to be rocking and it's going to be rolling. And I love to hear his honest takes on, sports and stuff, because NBA, NFL, baseball, hockey, it doesn't matter. He keeps it honest.
I wonder how often he'll have Aaron Rodgers on the show.
That's a great question.
Because he's known for having Aaron Rodgers on almost every other week.
Yep. Like what, every Tuesday or something like that? Like
yeah.
Tuesday?
Yeah, I believe every Tuesday Aaron Rodgers is on there talking about the NFL. So, I mean, that's what he's not in his darkness to treat, though. But he's
what? Pat McAfee's not slick. He's about to have a versus going on, because if he gets him on the ESPN network, and that means Adam Schefter will be on the ESPN network. Aaron Rodgers can face his arch rival, who apparently don't have his phone number, Adam Schefter. So then they can straight their beef away. When Aaron Rodgers apparently told Adam Schefter, "Lose my number, stop texting me, weirdo." They've been beefing for 3 years now. Let's solve it.
It's the only number you ever want. Just don't lose it. But
if I get his number, I'm sending him weird pictures and shit. That's what I'm doing.
You're gonna do what happened to Brett Favre with the Jets. The old dick pic and the Crocs.
Oh no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. It's not his fault he can't keep Olivia Munn around. Did I say that? Sorry.
Hey, it would not shock me if Rodgers goes to the Vikings. Like that would complete the trilogy. Packers, check. For 16 years. No, 17 years is, now. Check. Anyways. Jets, check. Vikings, check. Retired, check. That would be glorious.
Yep.
Well, they got something in common here, right? As of right now, while Brett Favre is stealing millions off welfare from people in Missouri, Aaron Rodgers is currently stealing millions from people in New York. So, hey,
everybody wins.
Everybody wins, except for New York. Except for New York, they just don't win.
Well, that's par for course.
And before we get to the NFL stuff, we were talking earlier in the show about Monty Williams and where could he go? Where could Williams go for his next gig? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Bucks come calling, because I mean they need a head coach. We
got to talk about this. The names listed on the coaching rumors.
No,
being Mike D'Antoni.
Damn it!
Why is his name on the list? The guy who basically made New York Knicks the laughing stock.
And the Houston Rockets. And the Phoenix
laughing stock of the NBA. A guy who looks like he just crawled out of a retirement home to coach a game.
Wait a minute. So is this Philadelphia going after him?
Yes, that's their top 5.
Dear God. That's your top 5?
They must
That's
be digging deep for coaches because Lord as fuck, I wouldn't want Mike
that.
D'Antoni on my
There
team.
is no
You know
way.
what, though, to be honest, this smells like James Harden written all over this because the GM for Philadelphia is who? Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey was the GM in Houston in 2017 and 18
The same year
with
that
Mike
D'Antoni
D'Antoni
was-
as head coach. This smells like Houston Rockets type shit. This smells like James Harden stinker in the building. This smells like absolute grade A monkey crap coming straight out of Daryl Morey's office. And I if it is that, then I would say they done Doc wrong because they didn't do right by hiring a good head coach. Let me just say that because there's so many coaches right now. Budenholzer, Monty Williams, hell, even Nick Nurse, coach of the year for the Raptors. There's
Yes.
so many head
Who
coaches.
won a championship
Mark
with Toronto as
Jackson.
well?
Mark Jackson, and what, and the best you can do is that stack of crap. I mean, come on, dude.
How ironic would it be if Philadelphia next year they get D'Antoni as their head coach and Philadelphia goes on to miss 27 consecutive threes? Yep. I mean, just like
Oh,
this-
how coincidental also will it be if they picked up Chris Paul next year to run point guard? Oh man, this has
the
2018
Philadelphia
all over it.
Rockets.
Embiid's gonna demand a trade ASAP. He might not stick around.
Fuck,
for the
I
first
would.
week.
I mean, and then if that's the case, then Chris Paul is a cancer as well.
Hell,
Because
I would demand a trade if I was even the fucking water boy on that team. Like, hell, let me go make water for somebody else. These guys suck.
Oh,
Oh
Just-
my god. Horrible.
Mike
Horrible.
D'Antoni, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, please just don't.
No, don't hire him. No.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to get an idea from somebody else. Real quick here. This is gonna be bad, but Toothless Stone Cold. What are some of your thoughts? Well, you know, Tony, you know, he's a real company, you know, come on there, whooping there, you know what I'm saying? What?
That actually sounded like Joel Embiid in the post game interview. Game 7.
Thank you for that,
Remember-
Toothless Stone Cold. We appreciate it. By the way,
And, oh yeah, and speaking of Joel Embiid, the MVP, 15 points.
oh, by the way, shout out to Gallows and Anderson for that one because they did that impression on Talking Shop.
Yes. And
Oh.
also, and everyone busted open, which was great last year.
Oh, that.
Um,
By the way, I can tell you that made me cry laughing so hard I couldn't
Yes.
stop. I
Joel
was literally- my
Embiid.
ribs hurt from laughing so hard at Toothless Stone Cold.
Fantastic.
The best part was the one I talk real quick. Best part was the one I talking shop when he said, you know, he makes him talk. Carl Anderson was like, yeah, him being drunk on Dixie vodka makes him talk like Stone Cold without teeth. He goes, what happened here? He goes, well, where my teeth out of my motherfucking mouth? You know what? Oh, that might be the new bit on the show. Toothless Stone Cold. We'll see.
Joel Embiid is just the fact that he didn't show up in Game 7
No.
on Sunday. I mean, not only that, but James Harden did not assert himself into the offense. Like he was missing shot after shot after shot, and he wasn't, taking the load off of Embiid because every time Embiid would get double teamed, he was like, hello, somebody help me out here. And just like, come on, like you have to assert yourself into the offense because this is the same problem that bogged the Rockets offense down. James Harden and the 76ers went absolutely nowhere because Harden was aggressive at times and then not aggressive at all, especially in Game 6 and especially in Game 7. I mean, just at one point in that game, him and Embiid combined to be 3 or 14 from the field. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, and it would not surprise me if Harden is behind this, getting Mike D'Antoni as their next head coach. Like that would be even worse than Doc Rivers because at least Doc Rivers has a championship next to his name.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Real quick before we move on to the NFL schedule, other quick notes in the world of sports. This is a big one right here for the world of MMA, and that is Aljamain Sterling is set to defend his title coming up. I believe it is the UFC Welterweight Championship. He is set to defend that title against Sean O'Malley, who is 16-1, 8-1 in the UFC. The bout that was set up when he dropped in after Aljamain defeated Henry Cejudo a couple weeks ago. He spoiled his return. He jumped into the cage and got into a confrontation with him. Once again, probably staged just like the WWE is. But that should be a good fight. Also, in the world, also when it comes to MMA junkie or when it comes to MMA fights, the big one, they are bringing back the UFC is announced they are bringing back the BMF title that they had that was originally held by Jorge Masvidal. That title is coming back, and in the matchup is going to be Justin Gaethje taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier for that title at UFC 291.
Damn, that's gonna be a good fight.
Oh yeah,
Wow, that's gonna be a barn burner right there, folks.
oh yeah, it definitely is, and I'll be watching that for sure. Also, the big news coming out. Francis Ngannou, former UFC title contender and champion, has announced that he is signing an exclusive contract with the PFL. He's got a multi-fight deal exclusive to MMA through them. He said leaving UFC was the easiest decision for him. So all the best to Francis Ngannou and a new company. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get into it, folks. Also real quick, some sad news. A UFC, I believe it, UFC, a young female UFC fighter passed away. Name is Shaylee Lip. She died in a car crash recently, this past week. So prayers and condolences to her. She passed away at the age of 21 on May 7th.
Ooh, damn.
Yep. She was killed in a two-vehicle crash in Moorhead, Minnesota. So rest in peace to her family, or rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family, friends, and all of her fans in the world of mixed martial arts.
That is a young rising career in MMA cut short just like that. Just that sucks.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
That sucks.
But let's keep it positive. Let's get into the NFL schedule, man. And let me tell you, there's some good damn games on the schedule, some questionable ones by certain people in this room. But also, out of these was big news that came out, and that was through as many of you know, Amazon Prime Video has streamed games in the past. Thursday night football.
Oh God, NFL on Thursday nights. Yay!
But the big news is the wild card game. And what I mean by that is Peacock, which of course WWE runs through and is one of the biggest streaming services out there, has announced that they have signed a 1 year, one game basically, $110 million deal with the NFL to stream a wild card game in the month of January.
Ooh.
I wish they would just quit fucking with it.
Just go on streaming because you're doing it for NFL on YouTube TV, which is a bunch of bullshit with that fucking asking price. But I'm not going to get into that. But there's a lot of good games on the schedule. But I tell you what, the biggest shocker for me is the fact that you have the Detroit Lions opening up their season against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, just unbelievable. And it's Detroit's first time going to Kansas City in over 20 years. I mean, just unbelievable.
I just don't understand that because with all due respect to Detroit, like I believe they're going to win the NFC North next year. I think they're going to be good. I got expectations for them, but they're just not. They're not on that level. We have yet to see them right now. Like they're not on that level. While the schedule has already came out that the Eagles will play the Chiefs week 12. Why not make that the first game of the year? Or the Bengals and the Chiefs first game of the year. Like back in the day, it was always the conference championship or Super Bowl rematch. That was the first game of the year. Mahomes and Brady again. They played New England and Kansas City played 2019 season opener. Then it's just like now everything stops. There's no this and that, and it's just stupid. But
last year, I mean, honestly, Kev, and you're right on this when it comes to the scheduling. This honestly started, if I'm not mistaken, this started with the Buccaneers and the Cowboys in 2021. I mean, this is just completely stupid. I mean, like, if you want to bank on ratings and stuff, have your conference championship game or your divisional game or the Super Bowl rematch. Have one of those 3 games be your opening game. Or if you want to, spice it up, do a divisional rival. That's fine. But you have to draw ratings in the NFL. And I used to draw really high ratings with these games and stuff. And honestly, as we like to say during the football season, what the hell, bro? I mean, this is scratching your head levels of what the hell, bro. Like, you could have picked Cincinnati. You could have picked Buffalo. You could have picked Philadelphia. But you pick Detroit? Are you kidding me? Detroit? I know I sound like I'm Jim Moore over here doing playoffs right over here. Are you kidding me? Detroit? Like, you picked Detroit to be the opening game. What's the first game of the season? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, it's Detroit. Like, I'm not mad that Detroit's taking a trip to Kansas City this year let's just say this game, would have been on prime time eventually down the line. Hey, that's cool because Detroit has earned a name, especially in the last year, especially knocking out Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers getting into the playoffs, and they did go 9-8. But I think we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves there, NFL, Roger Goodell. I really think that does Detroit deserve these primetime games? Absolutely they do. But that's not the team that I had in mind facing Kansas City to kick off their 23-24 Super Bowl championship title defense.
Let me just say one thing, Steven. And you going off of paper, you can't judge off of paper. What did we learn, Roger Goodell, after last year? You thought the Broncos were going to be good on paper, and you gave them fuckers 7 straight primetime games, and they stunk it up for 7 weeks straight. So that's not necessarily a good idea. Which, shout out to Roger Goodell this year. They didn't actually put the Broncos in primetime that too often. So
yes.
Hey, shout out to them for that. But
hey, shout out to Randy because he's got an easy victory in game 1 with taking on Denver anyways.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that is week 1. Now, I am intrigued by all the different primetime games, like the Black Friday game with the Jets and the Dolphins. That should be good. And it's on Black Friday, so hell, another day of football that we get to watch. So I can definitely not hate on that. And New Year's Eve, big time New Year's Eve game to send out 2023 with a bang with the Bengals and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship rematch, as well as the Niners and the Eagles.
That's how you do it.
So that is definitely respectable. A great way to end 2023. The Thanksgiving Day games are kind of it's decent. I mean, I respect that it's all divisional games, so they are going to be hard.
I'll be too fucked up on tryptophan for the turkey. I'll watch the games and it just pass out.
Except this year, I think we got the Packers and the Lions.
Okay, NFC North match.
Yep.
And then the Cowboys and the Commandos, which you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And they did at least save the best game and the most playoff driven game for the nightcap, and that's the Niners at the Seahawks, which that's probably going to be fighting for first place, seeing as the Rams are going to stink it up and the Cardinals are going to stink it up. So that's probably for the playoff as far as positioning. And it's in week 13.
Hold on real quick. I'm watching the NBA draft lottery right now. Poor Ben Wallace, man. His hair's all gray. He's got a long goatee. His hair's squared off up top. He looks like fucking Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Oh God.
I'm here to make the pick for the Detroit Pistons. Mm-hmm. Anyways, you're right, Kev. You don't want to say though, the best ever NBA or not NBA NFL, the best NFL like schedule announcement goes to the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Dude, that whole thing of them spoofing that show from FX, I forget what the name, it's called The Bear, with all the Bears players, and it's Seth Rollins as the guy at the front of the counter. Oh my goodness.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Dude, when the Detroit Lions fan comes up and goes, "Hey, can I get a hot dog with ketchup?" And mind you, it's in Chicago, so you know that if you're from Chicago, you know the number one rule: no ketchup on a hot dog ever. That is Chicago rule number one. She goes, "Can I get a hot dog with ketchup on it?" He goes, "Can I get a hot dog with ketchup on it?" No. But no. But I will say, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on your own individual schedules as well for your team. So, Steven, I want you to definitely dig into the Carolina Panthers.
Hell no. I plead the fifth on that one. But I will tell you this.
Well, real quick, I got to say, though, I'm happy because we get a banger start and a banger end because we take on Green Bay both first game and the last game of the season. I was happy when I saw that. I'm like, okay, cool, let's fucking go.
Hey, I seen that too. I said, I know Ezra's happy. He's about to get about 20 years worth of ass whooping out while Aaron Rodgers is gone the fuck away from Green Bay.
Payback is a bitch, you cheesy.
Hell yeah, he's about to get 20 years worth of anger to beat on Green Bay while Aaron Rodgers is somewhere.
You can take your Lambo tax. You can take your Lambo tax and shove it up your cheese-filled asses.
They might have cheese coming out their asses by the end of that game.
No, but seriously though, I am excited for that schedule. I'm excited. The Bears got a lot of great games coming up. Definitely. But like you said, you want matchup. I'm actually excited for another week 1 matchup. Buffalo and the Jets. Bills and the Jets on Monday Night Football.
Yes.
That's actually going to be. I think it's going to be a really solid game.
I think that's the best week
9/11.
1 game. That's easily the best week 1 game in the NFL. For week 1.
You could not script this up any better. Jets and the Bills, 9/11 on Monday Night Football. I mean, this
great
has
atmosphere.
the makings of a great game, and also, like you said, just right there, a great atmosphere. I mean,
Great
just
atmosphere.
Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. Many more matchups to come between those two great quarterbacks. And, of course, Tua Tagovailoa in Miami down the road will face Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And it's just, I mean,
dude, Aaron Rodgers in week 2 has got to take on our favorite quarterback of all time, Mr. Dak Prescott.
I thought you were going to say Mac Jones. Who?
Oh, my God.
Dude, don't even get me started on him.
But Dak Prescott just, hey, as long as they don't get Tony Pollard lining up under center taking Ezekiel Elliott's
and as long as CD Lamb sees the ball.
Yes, still the greatest line ever spoken on this shirt. On this show.
Ball where they about to see these ass whoopings because the Cowboys travel to the good state of California for a week 5 Sunday night football showdown at San Francisco. And boy, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a great game for them. And as far as my guys' schedule, man, I couldn't be happier. I've like first couple games we're at Pittsburgh. That's probably going to be a trap game to me. At Pittsburgh,
it's a trap.
Pittsburgh's got a good defense, and we're on the East Coast. But then after that, we got the Rams, the Cardinals. They suck. Then Dallas and Cincinnati is going to be an intriguing one in week 9. We got Cincinnati at home. But there's one little stretch that's a little worrisome, and it's around Thanksgiving because we're at Seattle. Then we come home and got the Eagles, or we're at Seattle, then at Philadelphia. Then we're home to the Seahawks. And then we got the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day and Christmas night at home. So that's a tough little 4-game stretch. Another key one I like is the Jacksonville game because I will go to that game in Jacksonville, Florida. And that whenever we play in week 10.
Let me know if you're running into Tony Khan.
Do it. Yeah. I might. I'm definitely gonna go out again. But I'll tell you who's got a hard schedule, and I looked at it. I know Joey shared it in the chat, but
Yeah.
the the Philadelphia Eagles have the number one
Yes,
hardest
brutal.
schedule, and I see why. There's a 6-week stretch in between week 11 and week 16. They're at Kansas City. They're home against San Francisco, at Seattle, home against Cincinnati. That's
That could
damn.
be 3 losses right there.
That's 3
I
out
mean,
of 4 losses.
dude,
I mean, you
Dude,
talk about
dude,
San
I was looking
Francisco,
at the
Cincinnati, and Kansas
dude,
City.
I was looking at the Bears schedule, and this is including one preseason game. Listen to the preseason game. Like 4 out of the 5 games, including one preseason game, are fucking insane. Listen to this. We take on the Bills, then the Packers, then the Bucks, the Chiefs. So yeah, we got a little bit of a battle ahead of us. Then later on we got the Vikings in a good game. Yeah, we get to spank the Carolina Panthers this year. Nice. And then of course a couple NFC North showdowns with the Lions and the Vikings. We get to take on Cleveland. Oh God. And then Cardinals, Falcons, and of course end the season with the Pack. But yeah, we got a pretty decent schedule. I'll say a lot of easier teams than last year, but in the end, it's gonna be a tough road. I know the Vikings game is gonna be interesting because we don't know what Kirk Cousins is gonna show up. Bills in the preseason, I'm excited for, because even though it's a preseason game, it's the final preseason game. So I'm excited to see what happens there. And of course, the game 1 with the Packers and the Bears, that's going to be awesome. Mainly just because I want to see Jordan Love squirm underneath the newly built offense of the Bears, defense of the Bears too. Another game I saw in the schedule coming up that I saw that I was really intrigued by. I thought I was intrigued by it, maybe not. I believe it was Miami and Buffalo week 4.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Miami and Buffalo week 4 at 1 p.m. Eastern. Here we go. Houston Rockets got the 4th pick. So 3rd pick, Portland Trailblazers.
Ooh, Dolphins and Eagles Sunday Night Football in week 7.
San Antonio Spurs get the number 1 pick in the draft.
Wow, they're gonna do it yet again.
San Antonio Spurs get the number 1 pick.
Well, we know who they're going after.
Yep. That just broke right now that San Antonio Spurs have the number 1 draft pick next year, or this year, the NBA draft. So, pretty interesting on that. But there's a lot of great games in this upcoming schedule. Let's see here. I was looking at we got Minnesota Green Bay at an NFC North showdown in week 8, which will be good. New England and Miami. You've got here we go. Like you said, here's a good one. Week 8, October 26th, Cincinnati Bengals and the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be a good one, too.
That is, as Seamus says, banger after banger after banger. Overall, there's a lot of great games, a lot of great schedules coming up. Like I said, there's some exclusive details. Like you said, Black Friday game this year, Xfinity getting a game for the wild card, or Xfinity Peacock getting a game for the wild card. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Woo! Bills and Eagles week 12.
Yep,
Ooh,
Bills
man.
and Eagles week 12. Yep.
Brutal for Philadelphia. I mean, this is going to show how elite Philadelphia is going to be this upcoming season. Can you hang with the big boys?
Yeah, definitely. Right, according to a report, Devontae Adams is not seeing eye to eye with with the head coach or the GM right now? Obviously. Because Josh McDaniels is fucking trash. Am I wrong on that statement or am I right?
Oh boy, you know Devontae Adams is going. Well, I done screwed up because I could have been with my buddy Aaron Rodgers in New York.
Yep. That's
Oh well, you reap what you sow there, pal.
Yep. Let's see. But yeah, the overall schedule for this year, for my team, the Bears, is pretty light schedule compared to what we've usually had, but it's still gonna be fun. Still gonna have some good games. Like I said, we got 2 games against Green Bay, a couple games against, I believe, Detroit, a game or 2 against Minnesota. Or Minnesota if you're a Jesse the Body Ventura fan. Yeah, I'm excited for the NFL schedule. I'm excited for the NFL this year. I can't wait.
14 Cowboys and Bills. Nice.
Yep, Cowboys and Bills. Go Bills. Hopefully destroy Dak Prescott and send him back. Maybe he can. By the way, I'm putting out wanted posters for Ezekiel Elliott because ever since he left the Cowboys, he's not been seen or heard of. If anybody has seen Ezekiel Elliott, please report him to at Owen_sports show immediately. Thank you very much and have a great day. And also make sure, please check your local Salvation Army kettle pots first. That's my first lead.
And if you have any donations, please come to the front desk. Thank you.
Your party is waiting for you at the front of the store. Thank you.
Oh boy.
I have a soda. But yeah,
Lots
outside
of
of
good
that,
games.
yeah, lots of great games. Outside of that, I don't have a lot of other as far as NFL news, but really, let's go to the Major League Baseball news, why don't we? And let's take a look at that real quick. Big news coming out of let's see, Domingo Germán, who plays for the New York Yankees, was ejected in the bottom of the 4th inning today after the umpiring crew determined that the Yankees right-hander had an illegal substance on his pitching hand.
Wow.
They found a quote-unquote sticky substance.
Again, it happens again. This has been going on for a couple of years now.
And this is his second stretch with it this season, Jermaine. Or Jamad, whatever his name is. He had too much rosin on his pitching hand last time. So, but yeah. Real quick also, for the Cubs, Kyle Hendricks is set to return to the bullpen sessions here soon. And then hopefully the team will have him back very, very relatively soon. As far as game scores right now, Orioles are leading the Angels of Anaheim 4-3. Bottom of the 6th, Tigers beating the Pirates 4-0 in the top of the 7th. Marlins are leading the Nationals 2-1. Bases loaded. Bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded as well. Yankees beating the Blue Jays 2-0. Seattle and Boston are tied in the middle of the 5th. Tampa Bay's leading the Mets 6-0. Milwaukee Brewers and the Cards are tied at 1 apiece, bottom of the 3rd. Braves are beating the Rangers 1-0 in the middle of the 2nd. Cubs and Houston are tied at 1 apiece in the middle of the 2nd. Cleveland and Chicago White Sox are knotted up at 0. Warm-up right now beginning for Cincinnati and Colorado. Later tonight, Diamondbacks and the A's. Chiefs and the Padres, Phillies and the Giants, Twins and the Dodgers all tonight. Check your local listings for more information. I know, Kevin, if you're still there, do you want to make any more comments on the NFL schedule, specifically your team or any other team before because I really don't have anything else. We might be closing it out a little bit early today.
I had something. So
What do you got?
there is something that I've been hearing on Sports Talk Radio, especially on Sirius XM, and this has been a great point, and this is referring to the NHL.
Oh yeah, okay.
So this is my thing, right? So the NHL had a Game 6 in Vegas
Yeah.
between the Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. And Edmonton was down to 2-3 against Las Vegas. And Vegas, you would figure that with only one NBA game on Mother's Day at 3:30, which is a high, it's not a great slot either way because it was Mother's Day, when everybody hanging out with their families and mothers and stuff and going out to eat dinner and stuff like that. But you had a grand opportunity, Gary Beckman, to put Vegas and Edmonton Game 6 at 8:00 prime time, where everybody on the East Coast could still stay up and watch the game. You put that game on at 10:00 at night on the East Coast. Now I know we're thinking, oh, well, the West Coast by normal start times, that's normal. But at the same time, for us people here on the East Coast, there's people out there that have a job, that have things to do. They have priorities they have to take care of and stuff. To not have that game on at 8:00 at night is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you could have had, because the baseball game by that point during Sunday night, it was over. It was a blowout. And you could have had a game that was close for the most part. Vegas ended up pulling out, winning in Game 6. You had a golden opportunity to have this game 8:00 prime time, and you didn't do it. This just goes to show you how the NHL is poorly marketed here in the States, because this is why the NHL doesn't get the coverage that it deserves, because scheduling is key. Scheduling is the ultimate key to establishing a successful brand. Yeah, you can be popular in a country like Canada, and that's great. But if you want to be a national league, sports league, you got to be really good with your times. Because when there's only one playoff game in the NBA, and the way they marketed that was genius. Because they know we put it on at 3:30. Yeah, it's a little bit of a risk, because it was Mother's Day, it was a holiday and stuff, special holiday. And you just, after the Celtics and Sixers Game 7, there was nothing really else to watch, on television, except for Sunday night baseball. And that game ultimately was a blowout. And here is a playoff game that actually means something because it's a series, 3-2 Golden Knights over Edmonton. And you put the game on late at night when the entire East Coast, for the most part, is getting the shut-eye sleep. Bad. Very bad. I mean, Ezra, what do you think? You think I'm onto something with this? Because this is poorly marketed. You have to know, how to market for all your audience. If there's multiple series going on, okay, that's fine. But there's only one game. One game. It's not like there's two. One game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
if it was Florida, and Carolina, because their series starts. Let's just say, hypothetically, if that was today or yesterday, and Edmonton and Vegas, would have went, to an extra game. It's one thing to have the Carolina game start off first because that's an East Coast team. Games in Raleigh, stuff like that. But let's just say if there was a Game 7 between Vegas and Edmonton, you gotta have, if there's an opening slot where there usually would be another NHL game, you have to have good common sense to put this game on a little early. Yeah, I know it might be bad a little bit on the West Coast people, because they're so used at a certain time getting going with the games and stuff. Yeah. But you have to accommodate for everybody, not just people on the coast that's playing the game. You have to accommodate for your televised audience. I don't know. I've been listening to that and I'm like, you know what? These analysts are making great points.
Yeah.
That you have to market. You have to market your league. Why do you think the NFL for so many years and still to this day, they're really good at marketing? Because they know where to put these games. I mean, these Monday night games for a couple of times during the year is going to be some double headers. I mean, Black Friday game, Jets, Dolphins, that should be entertaining. Thanksgiving, you never know what you're going to get with those games. The Christmas Day games aren't bad this year, and just the New Year's Eve games. I mean, my God, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and then Cincinnati and Kansas City. Genius to market, your season, your campaign season throughout the regular season, and also in certain weeks during your regular season. Obviously, what the NFL does best is putting marquee matchups in prime time, and that's what you have to do. And that's the one thing the NBA is good at, is they know where to put the big market teams. They always are really good at getting double headers together on television, and stuff. And this is the one thing the NHL, especially during the playoff time and the Stanley Cup playoffs, especially when there's only one game. And I keep going back to this because, it just proves the point that the NBA for years, the NFL for years, have always been good at marketing their games. And baseball, for the most part, has as well. Because they know, hey, people on the East Coast, we got to start this game, a little bit early, sometimes, 8:30, at least you can see a couple of innings and stuff in there. They're not starting these games at 10:30, for the most part, it seems like, especially come, playoff time, like you have to market for everybody. And the NHL is just, they're missing literally, no pun intended, a golden opportunity to put a big market like Vegas at 8:00 at night on the East Coast, even if you are a casual hockey fan, to watch a hockey game, because there's nothing like a playoff hockey game. Because obviously here on the sports show, we love our playoff football games. We love playoff basketball, especially when it gets down to the crunch times, and critical game 6s or game 5s or even a pivotal game 7. In the NHL, there's also great playoff hockey games, and you cannot beat the atmosphere of a playoff hockey game. And I really think that Gary Beckman and the NHL is really missing an opportunity to showcase marketing teams in the big markets and stuff at a relative easy time for us people here on the East Coast.
Hey, did y'all read the draft lottery yet?
Yes, we did.
Oh my God,
San Antonio with the #1 draft pick.
And guess what? So close, but no cigar is the Charlotte Hornets. Oh my God, they were so close to getting Victor Wembanyama, but no cigar. Looks like Popovich is gonna have a nice little toy for years to come until he retires. Good Lord.
The only thing I could picture, Kevin, in the back of my head as soon as you were saying that was Marv Albert on NBA Live going, and that was another 10-0 run by the Charlotte Bobcats.
Oh, they got so close. #2. Good God.
The Charlotte Hornets almost had it in the ping
They
pong
fell again.
Bam.
Dude, yeah. Detroit Pistons got #5.
Oh man. Oh yeah, but Kev, we were just talking about that, like how that we know how the NFL is so good at marketing their games, the NBA as well. The NHL on Sunday night had an opportunity to showcase Vegas and Edmonton at a relative, decent time, 8:00. That's not bad. But the fact that this game was on at 10:00 at night, when half of the East Coast probably is already going to bed, like, you have to know your audience.
Yeah, you have to know your audience.
About like the Los Angeles Lakers or the Golden State Warriors, they can play at 10:00 and still get a big pop of an audience because of who they are and how they've been marketed over the course of the years.
Right, because this is why people go, well, Stephen, what are you talking about? The NBA shows games at 10:30 at night, but they showed the teams that have been marketed correctly. The Lakers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Suns, all these teams that are out on there on the West Coast. Hell, even the Sacramento Kings are starting to be established. And they're going to be getting, better season tickets now for the upcoming season, just based off them being the third seed in the Western Conference playoff brackets. I mean, the NHL has had multiple opportunities to strike the iron while it's hot, and they just keep missing it with their marketing.
I agree. The NHL has so much finance. They're able to, they do a great job with the games, but the marketing is just terrible. Understandably so. I get it. I get it with the fact that they don't market the games as much as they should, and having a game, they got to understand their audience. They got to understand their markets. One of the big things with me is I do agree 9 o'clock in the afternoon or 9 o'clock in the evening, West Coast time. That's midnight Eastern. A lot of people are already going to bed or working or whatever the case may be at that time, depending on their work schedule or night schedule. A lot of people are not going to stay up till 2 a.m. in the morning for an NHL game that could go on longer than the time it says it does. Nobody's going to stay up that late. They don't have this drawing power that the Lakers, the Clippers, the Golden State Warriors all do. Hell, even NFL games like that. If you were to, a lot of NFL games are played earlier, obviously, because that's just the way they're designed to. You don't see a game in LA Rams going until fucking 12:30 in the evening, obviously, but they know they put those games early. They put those games on early to allow the fans not only in the building but at home to get the best possible experience. Unfortunately, NHL does not know to do that or wants to do that. So, their marketing unfortunately is suffering because they're not making the correct decisions. But I'm glad you brought up the NHL, Steve, because real quick too, before we call it a day, I do want to say though the Eastern Conference Finals are set. The NHL Conference Finals schedule is set, or in a way. Right now, you get the Panthers and the Hurricanes. You got the Panthers and the Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals. And in the Western Conference Finals, you have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. So 2 great matchups there. First game for the Hurricanes and Florida Panthers is going to be May 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. And wherever else you can find in your local market. And then the Western Conference game will be May 19th. Vegas Golden Knights at Vegas at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Real quick, shout outs to Tony Justice. Ooh, yeah. And our very own Joey Thornton in the chat. What's up, boys?
What's up, guys? What's up, y'all? Of course, Tony will be talking with you soon, brother. And Joey, hopefully we'll see you again on the show very, very soon.
And I got to bring this up. Tony said this in the chat, referring to the sticky substance on his hands. But he also said, was the sticky substance also on his magazine? Too much justice. Sorry. It's been
oh man.
And Joey also said here in the chat that the NHL has always been bad with marketing their games. Yes, absolutely there, brother.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, anybody else got anything before we wrap it up and call it a day?
I think I'm good.
Okay, Steven?
I think I'm good.
All right. Final thoughts. Kevin, you first, brother.
Now, the meaning of final thoughts is I have one final thought on the show, and this final thought is Detroit Pistons. Quit fucking tanking because you never get the number 1 pick. That's all. That's the post. That's the thought. I hope everybody has a good rest of the week and stay safe.
Yeah, that's right. Go Panthers. Steven, your thoughts.
I could not said that any better myself. I mean, the Detroit Pistons, they think, oh, we're the kings of tanking. You're the kings at failing to be the kings of tanking. You are not doing good at all by tanking. You know what? Instead of trust the process, just trust the tanking.
Really, a pig
Bullshit.
thing, Kevin? Really? God.
Trust the process for Philadelphia. Oh, trust the tank. Trust the almighty tank in Detroit. Wrong.
The
Wrong.
Detroit Pigs.
Oh my God.
But it's going to be rather interesting to see what happens in the next week or so with these series, because obviously the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Heat is getting underway tomorrow night. Tonight it's the Lakers and the Nuggets. Game one.
Hey, Toothless Stone Cold, what do you think about the Pistons losing out on the draft?
Well, I think they're bitches. They want to just keep complaining. They want to keep complaining, you know. Go over there with their sorry some bitches answering with a Stone Cold Stunner. What?
Yeah, this has become the new bit for the sports show. Bravo. Bravo.
I caught myself with this shit. Oh, Steven, please. Let's get over.
Anyways, on that toothless plug, you can follow us. You can follow us on Twitter at ON_sports show, and also Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show. And also we are live right now on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And also don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it is at the Nation's Corner. And I have to say that this past weekend was the premiere of the interview that they did with Paul, the producer of Busted Open. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that
Great
was
song.
unbelievable. Like,
I've gotten to talk to Paul personally at All Out Fan Fest last year. What a great guy! What a great person! Glad to have him part of the team. Busted Open, and just he's a guy worked for WWE Network, did a lot of stuff there, and it went on to become, of course, the producer of Busted Open once Ed left, once Gabby left. I mean, it was an awesome interview, and they got a real good interview this coming Saturday as well, Steven.
yes,
too.
they do. Yes, they do. And it's gonna be a great show this weekend. Obviously, talking about the week of professional wrestling, and also interviewing Kayla Sparks, and that's gonna be
Kayla Sparks is not being
or not this week. Okay.
No, but this is a person. It's not even a wrestler; it's a fan. That it's a fan. It's a person, but it's a person. I believe I'm checking right now. Real quick. The name on the person is, I believe her username is at Belle Christie, maybe. Sorry, we don't have the name right off the top of our heads, but she will be on the show. She's a fan who's one of the most positive wrestling fans on the planet, but has been touted by a lot of people as just a great person overall. We're gonna have her on the show. Like you said, Kayla Sparks put her over real big yesterday on social media. So,
and I really think that the world that we live in, we need more positive people like that, because her being such a positive, wrestling fan and stuff, like, I think this is going to be a really cool interview, because she can tell her story, to the guys and gal this Saturday, and it's going to be really fun.
yeah.
To hear how she got into wrestling and all that different stuff, and and what are her goals, for wrestling. Does she want to get into business, and all that good stuff. Just we'll have to wait and see, see what happens. And obviously, great show with you guys talking about the world of sports. And I'm very sorry, Charlotte Hornets fans and Detroit Pistons fans, but you absolutely suck at getting the number 1 overall draft pick in the NBA draft lottery. And congrats to the Spurs at getting another future Hall of Famer, possibly.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Ezra, wrap this up, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. This has been an awesome show. Kevin, Steven, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody who's watching this, whether it be VOD, whether it's live now. Thank you. Thank you to our Nation's Corner brothers, Tony Justice, Mongrovi, and Mike. Thank you to Joey Thornton, of course, our Nation Sports Show brother who's not here. Thank you to everybody. It's been a crazy week in sports. NBA playoffs really taking shape. Conference finals finally taking shape and now happening officially now.
Oh, and real quick, sorry. Also, shout outs to obviously Randy, who's obviously here in spirit with us, and to our boy, hijacker Mike, for waving the Oakland A's flag. He is pissed about what the A's are doing as an organization. So shout outs to our video guy, hijacker Mike, and our buddy Randy, and obviously his father William, and obviously our favorite Panther fan, Mr. Big T, who loves his Panthers. And shout out to your buddy Jeff, who obviously loves the NBA and all that stuff. And looking forward next week to talking about the NBA and stuff. And
shout out to my boy Jeff Grice. I will see you tomorrow night at work. Also, real quick score update: 16-9 Denver over the Lakers. 7:36 left in the first quarter. But with all that said, thank you guys. We'll see you all next week. It's going to be a great show. Of course, we're going to have, the usual talk. Hopefully by this time we'll have a little bit more clarity on what the finals will look like. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, for Kevin Rory, for Stevie Wyatt, for Randy, for Joey, for the entire Our Nation Sports Show crew, I am Ezra Vickery, and we will see you right here next week for another great edition of Our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy the sports, and we will see you all next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on YouTube. Peace out.